says he's not done. He's not finished what he started.
Is all that's left at this point is just to figure out a time and place for the announcement?
Pretty much.
His wife says he's running. He says he's running. But even the most liberal of news outlets aren't so sure it's a good idea. The Atlantic's Mark Leibovich just wrote, the case for a primary challenge to Joe Biden, there must be some free-thinking Democrat who is willing to get in the race. That came out after Joe Biden's interview. Noted Democratic bigwig Greg Craig wrote in the New York Times, Democratic voters, not Biden, should choose vice president. For many months since the 2020 campaign, Republicans have tried to portray Joe Biden as being too old to be president, as mentally deficient, as one small step away from death or disability. Democrats do themselves no favors when they let it be known, as they have in recent polling, that they think he is too old to run again. Chris Stirewalt here, NewsNation political editor. Are there any Democrats that you talk to outside of the administration who are honestly excited about a Biden-Harris 2024 ticket?
Well, I mean, no, but they're very excited about Donald Trump not winning another term in the White House, and that may be good enough for the Democratic Party at this point.
For sure. Look, it's always compared to the alternative. Don't compare me to God, compare me to the alternative. Lincoln comparison, Joe Biden was 78 years old in 61 days at his inauguration. Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated 77 years in 261 days before Joe Biden's birth. That means Joe Biden was born closer to Lincoln's second inauguration than to his own. By far the oldest president we would have if he completed his second term in office. What I'm wondering is why these news organizations that typically would be very pro-Joe Biden, Politico, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Atlantic, are all publishing these things that give fodder to this idea that he is too old.
Well, he is too old, and he knows he's too old. And he acknowledged in an interview with ABC News that he knows he's too old. There's no way that Joe Biden is going to be able to make the case that he is the correct age to be running for a second term as presidency. I love the Lincoln fact, but however you frame it, 86, when you finish your term in office, is extraordinarily old by historical standards or by modern standards. The thing about these pieces, though, I think the Greg Craig piece is a good example, which is it's couched, right? Well, we're not talking about Biden. We're talking about the vice presidency. And, you know, he should have a vice president that people have confidence in. People want to say it without having to say it. I found Mark Leibovich's piece preposterous poppycock, which is something because Leibovich is a great writer and a great observer of the political scene. Yeah. But he lists, well, here's why Harris can't run, and here's why Buttigieg can't run, and here's why these people. But what about Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan? What if she just took Biden on? So it'd be fun. Go shake things up, see what happens. Maybe Biden will get scared and drop out, and then she'll win. What a bunch of balderdash. The Democratic coalition is incredibly fragile. And the people who are most prone to vote against Joe Biden are not Midwestern moderates, right? They're coastal liberals. They are coastal progressives who do not want a Midwestern moderate Democrat, Gretchen Whitmer. The fanciful idea that Democrats could trade out one moderate for another moderate without a massive explosion along the way fundamentally misunderstands how unpopular the party is and how divided it is.
All true, and headline tears, Biden one-term promises. Politico, Biden signals to aides he would serve only one term. Biden indicates he would only serve one term. Biden suggests, Joe Biden hints he'd be a one-term president. He was going to be the generational change. Other than the fact that he really enjoys Air Force One, what changed?
There's a poll out from Fox News that shows Donald Trump thumping Ron DeSantis in the head-to-head. So Joe Biden and Donald Trump need each other like the Batman and Joker. I'll let whoever figure out which one is which in their own version. But there is a codependency between the two. The threat of Trump is what makes Biden palatable to Democrats who would like to move on and who would like something else, because they're not sure that they can risk anybody else going up against Trump.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.